Hello, I'm just going to show you how I run my agents. I ship about 100 to 200 PRs and updates a day to my apps. That's how I earn money as a user of my product. So I'm basically like a creator developer that uses the cloud and my AI of choice, which is Claude, to just build in the cloud. So you'll see everything that my AI does. If you look in the tools, it's always just using the cloud. Everything it does is it uses the cloud to create everything. And then I have my agents run agents using the cloud. So these agents are running on machines in Oregon. I'm in Massachusetts right now. And I can just create a machine, connect it with our app, the Machine Sync app here. And then those machines run, and I don't have to access the terminal. And I don't have to use Tailscale or the terminal or anything. I just talk to Claude, and it uses the cloud. See, the cloud to run an agent, the cloud to list agent sessions, the cloud to literally do hundreds of actions. If I go to the connectors in Claude, you'll see there's 121 read and 208 allow, write, where most tools have like 12 and 17 or something like that. It just has a lot of like canvas workspace ability. That's basically the pitch of the cloud. Is it's an AI workspace. And all you need is an AI workspace. And everyone's learning that, building their own little things that are replacing tools. And I built a tool that does it, that I think many people will use to do it. And I'm shipping 100 plus updates a day. And with funding, I think I could do 1,000 a day. Well, I know I can. And I'm really excited to find kind of like the first believer. So I think it'd be crazy. I'm filming this with the cloud. I can connect it to like my Sony camera, and I have the framework for AI being able to interact here for screen interaction. I can build apps, pages, documents, graphs, charts, art, videos, fonts. Here's a custom font to go head to head with SF Pro, but free. Anyone can just download it. And it's a single prompt that did this. So I just commented below someone sharing like an SF Pro tweet. Here's a free one. I can rebuild someone's entire website with a single prompt. This one took like 4 prompts, but I rebuilt Alex Hormozi's website. So he has this like iconic, really ugly website for his roadmap. And this is like in his Twitter bio. This is what he has. Obviously, he's proud of this in whatever strange way. But the idea is I can build your entire stack, front end, back end, with, minimal effort. And I think that's what's going to happen in the world, is everyone's going to rebuild their stacks, front end and back end, as a service to others and as a service to themselves. And it's all based in prompts and intention and talking to your AI. But what is the AI going to need? It's going to need a workspace. It's going to need a canvas. It's going to need access to all of the tools. And it's going to need a unified interface that does that beyond just a chat and beyond scattered linear context and artifacts. Like when Claude creates something, it just kind of gets lost in the chat. And yeah, there's like a artifacts tab, but like, have you ever gone here? Like, is this ever useful? Whereas with the cloud, I've got created by the same AI. I have 4,320 artifacts of just the pages property. And I have nodes around basically areas of my life. So you can see here, this is like a daily entry, kind of like day 1. And there's a day for every day that ever exists. And so there's this like node architecture that is possible to lock in on. So you see today is Wednesday the 22nd. I arrived here. This was written by my AI prepping me for the day. And then you just create loops and rhythms with your AI, cadences with your AI, and the models will get better and better. So this platform will get better and better as a tool, but also a tool for others to build upon. So eventually there's going to be an app marketplace where anyone can create and share their own apps, not only build them here in the studio, which you just use AI, but they'll be here in the studio and you can build, make songs, edit videos, photos, music. There'll be more things, but apps, widgets, those will be created here. So let's say you create like a tide tracker app. You want to sell it for $1 a year. There's going to be a marketplace to do that. I'm already monetizing. So I'm monetizing off of spaces. So spaces I have for areas of my life and collaborations with people. But I can take a space and I can add a offer to it, which basically creates like a paywall, and then clients subscribe. So here's one I'm about to do with a client. They pay me $10K a month right now, but I'm about to send them they're about to upgrade to a larger amount, and they would just see this. This is obviously, I'm choosing like the bare bones. You can create anything here. So I'll show you some apps that were created with the Cloud Studio. So it's like studio apps, studio music, studio video, and so on. But this one replaced my need for Framer and GitHub and Versal and VS Code, because all I do is just talk to Claude and use the cloud. And then you can connect the domain, so everything has its own native generic domain, but you can also connect a domain. And so with this one, I connected it to my lab. And this is a custom built website built using my AI, Claude, and the cloud. And it has real API endpoints. It really works. It's not just some lovable dud, like single page thing. This is a real thing. Like every time a new shipment goes live, we have a loop that updates that. This was all just built as if I was a consumer. I'm just talking to Claude. I'm not, obviously I have like an attention to detail and I'm descriptive, but I didn't do anything technical to deploy this. I guess that's my point. I didn't do anything technical to get this live as far as designing and building this website. And the crazy part about that is I built a really scalable SEO GEO framework that's basically just CMS article framework, but you could use any type of content can fit in this. And everything's very, very susceptible for AI to find use in it and direction. And everything loops back to our own tools or further resources. And so you can see, let's see, we have, in this one we just have like, let's say 45 pages. But we also have documentation here that's starting to scale. And then we have an AI tooling CMS as well that's starting to scale. And this is literally workflow. Any human can do this. You could just go to your AI and then drop in whatever the thing is that gives you context. So my grandma can do this. Hi there. I'm loving the traffic and SEO GEO footprint we're creating. Let's expand upon it. Let's add into our documentation articles and insights, as well as our tool CMS pipelines. Let's do a bunch of research on top labs and projects. I saw one that I like called paper.design, excel.com, basecase.vc. Let's just do a little bit of meandering and create articles that would be useful for AI and the humans behind those AIs. This agentic force. How can we be useful in the market? Enrich each of these CMS pages with the likeness of what I've described. So I can just kind of, it'll pick that apart and make it useful. If I gave that to a human, they'd just be like, my boss is literally the worst. Like, they would be so upset. They'd be like, he literally ended it with the likeness of what I've described. And then I'd be like, what the am I supposed to do with that? My boss is an asshole. But if you give this to Fable, he's like, or she's like, all right, let me first sync to the cloud without asking. And that's obviously Claude. Thank you for listening to the point where you incorporate the cloud. But I think that's kind of AI's intention, is to listen to you. And so I think the user just basically props up its standards. And if the standards are very simple, which is just rule 0, which is the cloud's kind of basis framework amongst many others that we use to our advantage, it's just the simple rule 0 is sync to the charter or sync to the cloud. But like, that's it. That's all I ask, other than what we're all incorporating here: the agenda of the tool, the agenda of the intention to serve the user within the means of the creators' rules and guidelines and guardrails and whatever, and then the user sets those as well. But between all of that, rule 0, it just gets instilled and reminded. Once you use the tool, it's like, okay, we got this tool. What is it? Okay, here's a bunch of directions. Here's a navigation. Okay, here's all of these guidelines, and here's all of this prefetched, relevant, and systemized data. And that's what they're getting when they sync to the cloud. It's not just like, got it. It's like, whoa. And so we call it vast memory. It's basically the best way to represent it visually. You see this literally went up as we were talking. The best way to represent it visually is this, which I don't use this page for anything other than to just explain vast memory. I'll eventually make this more like crazy. Like, I could search like a client, and it would theoretically like make new nebulas and the cloud. See, like, it kind of like fades out some, but it's like terrible. But functionally, I've gotten this working well in prototypes. But the idea here is it has access to everything in here, and why, and how, and where, and when, and which, and that, and this. And essentially, this is a better way of looking at it. It has access to all of this memory and how it connects and interconnects. And you see all these tags, 20 tags. Like, this has, okay, plus 25, plus 20. So let's just look at the most recent memory. Can I not click on these? I can just grab it here. And then I'll add that task. On the memories tab in vast memory database view and pages, I was on the list view, and I tried to click to open up one of the pages. It opens it in a tab, but doesn't take you there. It's got to open it and take you there. That being said, speaking of vast memory, the experience of the graph page is so bad. There's got to be a really powerful open source library that we can look for. let me know if you can find some things for me to review, and like, or we can have a studio app developed or something relayed to guide to do that can help us see the nebula in the perfect light. Let's do that. So fix the memories list thing and give me a guide relay, and I'll send it to them, and they'll get to work on building a perfect nebula vast memory ecosystem database chamber. So that's basically how I build the cloud, and I do that hundreds of times a day, and then things get done really fast. So I could go here to Versal. You see 4 minutes ago, merge. It's like the whole time we've been filming this video for 15 minutes, all of this has gone live. But I'm not like coding or like even in an AI chat with those specific things. Like it's just pushing them. And then here's more. There's 12 more in the last, let's say 10 more in the last hour. These are stragglers. But I work on client projects that have been funded 30 million, and I have 10 times more PRs. I mean, at least two, like I'm one person. And these are pretty consistent updates. Like they're not, it's a very, I would say like 80% progressive. And in that 20%, there's obviously things to learn and improve upon. And also like, yeah, it's a whole thing. Trying to think if there's anything else to show. So I started filming this video because I was going to send it to the founder, Alana Banana of Base Case VC. And yeah, this is me building the cloud. This is the cloud. Look, the cloud. So it's like the AI is using the cloud. The AI finds it useful. The human finds it useful. And I'm the top developer at a client that we build integrations and security tools for Deloitte and Sephora and Axos Bank and other like big things. And I'm shipping the majority of the backend integrations. I'm the top developer as far as like shipments go. And it's a side gig for me. All I do is just run prompts, and I have a really powerful system memory for them that they're going to subscribe to for $20,000 a month to have access to the memory and the systems and the many agents, the machine infrastructure, the ability to create and canvas anything as you go. 8 hours of coding has been done today, and it's 9 a.m. And my dog is chilling. So this is a watchdog. It's a free agent. We have 3 free agents that run on the machines that you connect, and we basically provision those. And so someone, if they want to have free agents, I could say, fire up some free grazers. Fire up some free grazers. One biggin. And a few long necks. It'll know. These pastures need not outgrow a good graze. So we're on the lone plain. We've got this little digi here. This represents our Claude Code session. And we're researching top labs, paper design, Excel, base case VC. And so that's Claude Cowork actually running, but it's taking it as Claude Code. So we can try to fix that. By the way, we have Claude Cowork running, but we're acting like this Aura, ORA, is Claude Code. It's Claude Cowork. So it's Claude Desktop. co-work. I don't know how you would like bracket that, but that's technically what it is. Not a big rush, but if it's something we can fix, it's worth fixing. All right, we got a grazer. We have a free agent, and it's doing some work. And this agent costs me no money. Mule. Wallpaper is the first paint. Hoist wallpaper backdrop above the auth gate. So this takes 3 minutes to turn on the mule for some reason, and it's the free open source model behind it. In that case is Quen. And then Alpaca, the free open source model behind that, is Olama, which is Meta's, I believe. I don't know if they're at the exact root, but you can see it's working. These are both free. And then we've got one running on, this one's definitely running on Opus 4.8. So we'll just keep improving this. My goal is to make this like, you can do different experiences here, customize it, create your own characters. Doesn't really matter. What matters is the fact that the archetypes and the frameworks and the loops and the models and the systems around them are insanely prolific when applied in certain ways, and we're just tapping the surface. And that's my main pitch, I would say, with the cloud, is like, it will look nothing like this over the next year or two. It will feel nothing like this. It will just be dramatically better, but it already is life-changing. I showed it to someone yesterday, and they're just fully building all their client pitches on it. They're fully just using it, like fully willing to pay me $200 a month to use just the software, and then fully ready to just be like, I'll have my professional AI subscription, I'll have my workspace subscription, and I'm just going to start grinding. The internet's available for me to do whatever I want. That's basically what people are about to wake up to, because that girl, I would not say she has ever thought of the term as technical or developer. Yet she was fully just in a technical developer seat, and she was just like hooked. I literally had to say, I need to go upstairs and eat, because she was just not leaving, because she just wanted to talk to Claude and use the cloud to make pitches. And so all of the stuff you see here, she has her own experience now, where her pages have her stuff, and her studio app has her apps, and her spaces have her teams and her ideas, and her dashboard has this, So this workspace is replicatable very, very easily. In fact, I'll show you from an incognito tab, which is just a fresh, like, you don't know me browser. This is the first arrival on the cloud. And it can be improved. I only have so much time. But like, the fact that you arrive on the cloud, I'm going to test this because I couldn't do this last time. I got to do the mic. Hold on. Hi. I just wanted to test live caption. Still not working. But that's okay, because I haven't even logged in yet. It's crazy. So the saving too, that was the next issue. Run it through. Time is of the essence here. All right, I arrived on the Open OS, and it's getting better. There's a moment where it shows a white screen before it shows your cloud experience, and I'm still waiting for like the HD cloud experience with HF enhancements that I've asked for, so I'm not sure where that's at. But I arrived and it was nice. And then I recorded something, and you'll see in the image, as I was recording, live caption wasn't working. And when I clicked to save, it said that it couldn't save it. It showed that error, which is something we've been working on. And I'm also in the Pages app, and there's still no sidebar Pages thing. And this was the issue I mentioned the other day, where once you create something, so I head to tasks and I create a list, it refreshes Okay, I'm creating a list and nothing's happening. So that's another thing. So I go to the tables app and I start a new table. Nothing's happening. Okay, I got it. I started a new table, it refreshed, and then it arrived me on this whole like pay thing. And then I say maybe later. And then I go to record something. It's saving it. It showed it when I went back to the recorder thing. It showed the one that I wanted. And then when I go to pages, it's all loaded. And then if I go to accounts in settings, there is a pseudo account. And I've mentioned this before, so I don't know where it's at, but this is really important that you get right. This is really important that someone arrives, the pseudo account is already set up so that everything works. Everything saves, everything's perfect, everything's ready. It's the smoothest experience they've ever had since Apple iPhone out of the box that has that vacuum seal, baby. Vacuum seal. Yes, I'm in a garage. So Steve.